I'm not 100% sure I even have an opinion about Go Look Up.
I do, but it's maybe not. I'm kind of all over the place with Don't Look Up.
Okay,
but anyway.
okay. Let's do it. Wait. No, look, we're gonna do it right now.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
2 low-level astronomers must go on a giant media tour to warn mankind of an approaching comet that will destroy planet Earth. And it has an amazing cast. It has Leonardo DiCaprio, it has Meryl Streep, it has Jennifer Lawrence, it has like that dude, what's that dude's name?
Did you see that there was even a cameo by Ron Perlman in there?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this movie.
Really, just right.
So how did they cast all these people? How did they cast all these people?
I have no idea.
They should get an award for that.
Because it's the script. I mean, my God. There, you know what? I gotta tell you something. Not one person would say anything. This is what really got me.
That's what I liked about it, though. It was so kind of ridiculous.
Not one person said anything that anybody in the world would ever say, would ever follow that word with that word. And they did it so successfully.
At the very beginning, they said, based on real events that haven't happened. So you're not expecting it to be realistic.
Real words that you don't use.
I actually like that part of it, that it was a little off the rails a little bit in that way, but I kind of enjoyed how stupid it was, actually. What they were trying to do, though, was have make a metaphor, which really was not really a metaphor. It's basically saying, look, there's some shit happening in the country and people are ignoring it and they're going to die because of it.
This is great. This is great. But here's the thing. I
like how they did that. It wasn't like a metaphor. It was like, okay, we're just going to change some names and tweak a couple things.
Right. But you have to admit this is that there was no point where you had any inner groupings of those that were in power. There's just no point where there was no division between them, which stinks. I mean, that's just like at least, these days, the Republicans would get on one side and the Democrats would get on the other. Nobody did that. It was just like everybody get together and laugh at these two guys. And then it's, we've got this handled with the Elon Musk character and some of the unlikely shit.
Actually, I like the character that was take down that first mission, and he was like an old school guy. I like how they just went over the top with that. Like he's giving his speech, and he's saying all these horrible things about everybody, basically every kind of race and every.
Yeah, they were just oh my God.
And then they just scrapped the mission just because this fancy guy came up and was like,
came up with his pods, right?
But that first mission would have worked probably. But no, that's what was funny about it. I thought this was pretty good satire, actually, even if it wasn't amazingly written. The dialogue,
as satire, it's pretty interesting. And
it's not too dark. It's kind of like
it was just if I had seen it as a play, because it's exposition from the moment that we start. We're in exposition land. I didn't think that we had to go as deep into the exposition as we really needed to. But
well, speaking of exposition, sorry, the Ariana Grande song. I don't know if you paid attention to the lyrics though, but they were like really bad. It's like,
we're all gonna die.
I know. It was like.
We should have paid attention to the scientists, but we're all gonna die.
No, but that was so bad that I actually enjoyed it because it was like, okay, there's a lot of things that were bad in this movie that I thought were funny. Because
no. Obviously, it was just a setup, just to do one joke after another about the end of the world and see how stupid. How stupid you could set everything up. Because here's the thing about Hollywood.
Jonah Hill was a big example of that, obviously.
Yeah, but it's my personal favorite is when what's his face is talking to the president on the phone and goes, "Well, I just sure hope you're happy with Jaysen." And she goes, "Jaysen? Who's Jaysen?" cuts to Jonah Hill being
Jaysen.
alone in the room.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jaysen. Oh yeah.
Oh,
But that's gonna hurt. That's just gonna hurt.
did you not think Meryl Streep was good though? I mean, I thought she pulled it off pretty well. I think actually that's what I think saved this movie. Were a couple of the actors, actually a group of them. I think Leonardo DiCaprio. Actually, one thing I usually don't like Leo DiCaprio that much. I think the last movie I really liked him in was What's Eating Gilbert Grape, which goes back
exactly.
to.
I'm with you there.
I think he tries too hard a lot. So I think this movie he just kind of like. He just played it cool, and I thought his character was awesome. I think how he kind of like started off as this dorky kind of scientist, and became this kind of suave guy, then turned back into like a dorky guy.
I think that he honestly took a bunch of Xanax at the beginning.
No, I think he did awesome though, and I liked where his little outburst where he was like, he finally got fed up and started screaming at people. I like that scene where he was losing his temper, but then I like the last scene of this movie too. I like that. It's kind of
scene of them sitting around the dinner table.
Yeah.
Was I'm not sure if a film like that should be saved with poignancy.
But it was.
But they certainly gave it a shot.
And they tried to show some of the characters evolving as they went on, but there was with that many people. It's like how far can you go with Jennifer Lawrence and explaining what she's gone through, and then at the same time what Leonardo DiCaprio's character's gone through, and I don't know, it's just. But I think they tried to show some of that, but with 800 people. I did like to see. Okay, I like some things that were kind of parallel to, like the whole thing that they wouldn't talk to these people until they had problems with their polls. Their poll numbers were down.
I just think that.
I just think it was close to reality. That's one reason.
Subtle. You know what?
No, it wasn't subtle at all.
I'll tell you what. Here's the thing.
But why be subtle if it's a satire?
Here's the thing is they're in the meeting with the president, and the president doesn't have self-awareness.
Well,
right?
that kind of goes back to I won't mention who, but there's past.
No, and I totally got it. But the thing is that's not something that. I mean. Come on, there's got to be a touch of self-awareness in there when you're saying stuff like, "Oh no, make it 80%," right?
You don't want to panic people. Make it 80. Well, that's something I think that's something somebody would say though. Like,
great moment. That's a great moment to do a little self-awareness there. I don't know.
But look at let's talk about, like, there was a certain somebody that was in that position. They probably would have acted the same way, I think. They would only be worried about themselves.
Yeah, but I don't believe he's a real human either. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Imagine that absolutely everybody on the government side is John Marsh, and that's what this film reminds me of.
I wasn't going to mention names. Oh, my God. No, so I think I enjoyed this more than you did, obviously. I actually thought it was pretty good. I mean, I thought it was over the top, but then I accepted that from the very beginning. I said, okay, this is a lot, but I'm going to accept it. And then I think I enjoyed it more. But Leonardo DiCaprio, I give him props for playing it cool in this one and not trying to overact.
Well, you know what? We're going to have
I'm telling Leonardo DiCaprio how to act.
Old-fashioned. You're going to have us an old-fashioned showdown.
That's right. Well, I mean,
because I for one thing, I have a hard time rating this above a 2.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah.
I give it a good 3.
Good talent. Hey, I don't care if good talent is saying stupid shit. They're still saying stupid shit.
I give it a good 3.2. I did like the scene where they finally got on the planet too. That was a nice scene where they.
Oh, and the awful and the worst. The worst is just the throw off line. The throw off line. Oh no, we can deal with 20,000 people, and then you see that. Well, what the fuck was that all about? No wonder they weren't bothered, right?
There were a couple good lines at the. Let's see. Only 58% died. That's pretty good numbers. I expected worse.
Yeah, I expected worse.
Anyway, but Meryl Streep, being that thing that happened was pretty cool. I'm not sure they needed to be, without clothing, but anyway. So, if it wasn't for the nudity, I would give it a 3.4. But I think with the nudity in there, I give it a 3.2. And it does get extra points.
It certainly didn't really need it. I mean,
And you're right. The last scene doesn't really fit with the theme or the feeling of the movie. But I liked how it ended, though. It could have been a lot cheesier. I don't know what's wrong with my camera right now.
Well, wait. It could have been what?
It could have been a lot worse. A lot worse.
Really?
You think so?
Really? You mean having a bunch of wasted A-list talent say a bunch of words that were just random, except for when they're doing exhibition, their words were entirely random, and trying to remind me once again that Donald Trump was on the Earth.
He's still on the Earth. I think he could be on his mothership.
I don't need to be reminded of it.
Well, I think
that we have a disagreement here.
I still give it a 3.2 because I would watch it probably again.
Okay, 1.8.
I'll give it a chance again.
1.8. No. I'm going down.
I did think the only actor that annoyed me was the guy that was the scientist guy, or not the scientist guy, the businessman. The guy that came in was just the way he talked was a little strange and it was a little too much for me.
The businessman scientist, quote unquote, scientist.
Yeah. There was one scene where he was looking at this invention.
Are you calling me a businessman?
But I like that one scene where he was looking at the machine that he had built that was going to land and do something. I'm trying to be vague here, but he got really close to it, and I was hoping that it would just suck him in. And then it looked like he wanted to jerk off next to it. Yeah, he was rubbing his hands. But I was hoping that it was going to suck him in, and all this blood was going to spray out, and then they were just going to have a replacement come out there, that was his assistant or something. Yeah. But they didn't go there. But oh well. So
they could have.
Little Gore would have saved this, I think.
Actually, that would have been more. That would have been a little bit more interesting.
Little blood and gore would have saved this one.
So that's where I'm at.
I don't know. I think it's interesting. If you like satire, I think it's worth at least trying it. Just give it a shot. It's not going to hurt you. You can sleep it off. No big deal. I'm talking about a movie. It sounds like
the fact that they made the film is the ultimate satire.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that was the goal.
Could have been. You don't know. You know what? You don't know.
I want to know what Netflix shelled out for this thing.
$75 and a pony.
But this was, I think when this came out, I saw somewhere that was the most watched movie of Netflix. I don't know if it was the most watched, but it was right up there. It was the immediately number one. And I think it's because a lot of people are into Leo. I think it's all it was.
That's because there's a lot of people that didn't know how great Ghostbusters was going to be. Afterlife.
See, the funny thing is, I didn't like Ghostbusters that much more than this one.
You know what? Now you're just working my last nerve.
I know, I'm trying to. No, actually, I gave that a higher score, at least by what? I gave it a 4 or something. I was going to say,
yeah, hello.
Yeah, so.
Okay, look, I'm done with this.
I don't blame you. I'm kind of a aren't I? Anyway, hope you feel better.